Okay, so welcome back to another year in the TikTok on AntiDietPilot. I feel like it's pretty appropriate to call me a hater right now. For her, there's something that I just feel drawn to cover her right now. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cover AntiDietPilot some more today, and let's just jump into it. All right, normally I don't cover relationship stuff, but there's something specifically, I think because we've seen so much snarky commentary from her before, that I feel like the need to cover this now. We haven't covered that much time in her year in the TikTok, and she was talking like, I look like this and I'm single, but then there's this post that says POV, you finally accepted he's never gonna change. And it's a series of text posts that I'm actually gonna read through mostly because her dating life, I mean, yes, there's fan acceptance around AntiDietPilot that is worth covering, but I almost feel like her dating stuff is also equally worth covering, mostly because sometimes she says like really out there or really toxic shit that I think is worth covering. And while it's a little outside of my wheelhouse, it's just, I don't know why, but I'm just kind of fascinated by her. So we're gonna go ahead and cover them. And it looks like, so most of the ones that were responses are blurred out. And I don't know what to make of that, but we're gonna read the different responses that she's sending, and kind of piece together what's happening. She says, I don't like how you treat me and how you have treated me since I met you. I'm sorry it took me this long to be able to understand this is how I've always felt. I was a child when we met. Okay, now I'm really confused because she was saying like I look like this and I'm seeing and that was not that long ago in our coverage of her. And I was a child when we met. I wonder how old she is now. I don't know what else to say. I feel like blank right now. I have nothing left for you, blank. I'm gonna find someone who has the same morals and values and treats me how I want to be treated. I've given you so many chances, several years of them. I don't want this with you anymore, and my mind is already made up. There's nothing you can say to change my mind. I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings because I do care about you and I really do want you to be happy, but we will never be happy together. We're not compatible. And that's so I will give her this. She's not, I don't know. This feels like it goes against like the very first one. It's like she says, he's never going to change. And maybe she's um just saying not compatible. Well, no, she does say she doesn't like how he treats her. I do wonder how he treats her because we know she has like pretty high standards. So there is a little bit, I don't know, there's something about saying this though that I'm like, my God, how did he treat you, you know? My mind is already made up and I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sorry. I find it interesting that she keeps apologizing, which almost gives me like, so here's the thing. We know she has high standards, but this like continuously apologizing, given her attitude that we've seen before, I almost feel like, and maybe this is complete armchair psychology. I realize I'm like towing a line here, so I want to be careful with how I phrase this, but it almost comes across like she's a little afraid to me, and I could be completely wrong. I've never had relationship conversations like this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just how people handle this, and you can't help but say I'm sorry sometimes because you are ending something. So maybe that's what it is. I'm not. I want to be clear. Like I'm not making assumptions. This is pure speculation. She says, I'm miserable. This situation makes me miserable. I want someone who makes me happy, and I feel like we both deserve that. This is not making me happy. So far, like, honestly, for some of the toxicity that we've seen from her, this feels like a pretty reasonable um breakup conversation. Blink, we're done for good this time. I'm doing this because I love myself and I want both of us to be happy. Seems pretty reasonable. I don't want this anymore. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you closure by responding, but it feels like it's escalating. Oh. I'm not happy and I want both of us to be able to move on. Thank you for telling me how you feel, but it's about 8 years too late. I really want to enjoy my life however long I have left and I'm miserable. So has this been like an on again, off again relationship, I wonder? It doesn't matter how you feel, I'm not happy. I don't want this to go on anymore. I will never be able to fully forgive you for the things that have happened. Ooh, wonder what happened. Your actions never match your words, and how someone treats me matters more to me than anything else. I don't want to be in a toxic situationship. I want a happy marriage. No fighting, arguing, yelling, name calling, insensitive jokes. I want a peaceful, anxiety free partnership with someone who treats me how I want to be treated. It's just not going to work. I'm really sorry and I don't want to hurt your feelings. So this is really interesting. It's giving us some insight into like her past relationships, especially with some of her dating stuff. And definitely what I'm getting is almost like an maybe she was a bit of a people pleaser before, and now with some of the stuff that she says, she's like overcorrecting in the opposite direction to where she almost appears like toxic sometimes. This is really interesting, and I feel like this gives some real insight into who she is. I've barely gotten and I'm sorry that I didn't have to force out of you. I would never do the things you did to me to anyone. I would never let someone I care about go to bed unsure about how much they mean to me. And I don't know if you just don't want, sorry, I don't know if you just don't know how to do that or if you simply don't want to. But that's a clear sign it isn't meant to be. If it's not translating, love is work, but not this much work. If you wanted to, you would. And I realized today I have no more effort, time, or patience to give you. I waited for you to change because I wanted you to change, but I can't help heal a person who keeps using their pain as an excuse to hurt me. So this is just a general message. This is, I mean, both for, I think her name is Justice, um, and just for anyone watching. This isn't even like romantic relationship specific. This is people specific. Don't wait for people to change. I kind of have to either accept them as they are, or um, go the other way because most people aren't going to change significantly even in their time with you. There's most people by the time you meet them, especially as adults, most people by the time you meet them are fairly set in their ways. It's not 100%. It's not that people are incapable of change, and I want to be clear about that, but no one will ever change in the direction that you want them to simply because you want them to. No one will ever change for you simply because you think it's best. Sometimes people do change for others, but more often there has to be an internal motivation or some sort of shock to their system for them to change. Some exceptions are children, but even changing for the better for children isn't guaranteed. I had a cousin that was a heroin addict and didn't even change when his son was born, didn't even change when he lost custody of his son. He changed when he nearly died. And I'm glad that he's doing better and I'm glad that he's clean and everything, but for him he had to hit that rock bottom before he would change. It has to be something that affects the person. And sometimes having a child or entering a new relationship is enough to cause that change, but most of the time it's not, at least in my experience. So just my big thing is don't stay in a relationship with someone, be that romantic, friendship, or some sort of familial relationship, expecting them to change. You might as well approach relationships that the person that you see is as good as they're going to get. And then if they change for the better, fantastic. But if they don't, you're not surprised at least. I'm finally ready to move on for good. It's taken me a while, but I'm truly confident in this decision when I say this time. When I say it this time. I truly wish you the most happiness for the rest of your life. You've been through just as much shit as I have, and you deserve to have your life end on a positive note too. I'm just gonna assume that seems that's kind of a weirdly phrased thing, but that's fine. And that's it. So this is just really interesting. I feel like it gave some insight into AntiDietPilot. Oh, so it looks like we're getting some perspective from his side now. So she says, POV, you try to break things off with a narcissist. Oh. And he says, where did this come from? Be toxic, your specialty. You literally only contact me when you want to be rude. I don't want closure. And no, I don't care about you. Wait, what? I don't want closure. You know I care about you and adore you. But there's no way you can say you don't feel like I care about you. Okay, interesting. Obviously, you know how much I adore you, but can't express it. I wish I could. We've been through so much. We both have a lot of hurt that no one else will ever understand, and we both deal with it in different ways. And then he just says toxic. You're the queen of starting fights. See, this is the thing. No, I have to agree with her. He definitely comes across as toxic. She's like being very clear that she wants to end things. And at first he's like, "You know how much I adore you. I'm not very good at expressing it, but we've been through so much together. You know I adore you. You know I love you." And then responds with her being increasingly like firm. "No, this is what it is. I want to end things with you're toxic. You're the queen of starting fights." So he's trying to reverse things. Well, he's trying from the text that we saw earlier. Like, yes, she clearly has some grievances within the relationship, but it seems like she was more or less trying to end things as we're not good for each other, so we need to go our separate ways. I don't know if I would call it amicable, but I wouldn't say it was hostile in her ending it. I felt like she was just firm. And so he goes when he's not getting what he wants, he starts attacking her, which I it's just hallmark of a toxic person. Then he says, "Yeah, well, I love you. I want us to be happy." After insulting, well, this doesn't seem to be fully in order, but still. If you thought I did, wait, so if you thought I didn't care about you, you'd never talk to me. You know I care about you and always have. Do I know how to express it? That's a different story. Should I have known by now? Maybe. You'll never know shit about me, not that you ever did. Wow, he's really like granted, I'm not sure how much order she's giving this to us, but even if all these as long as these were all taking place in the same conversation, which I'm going to assume that it seems like it did, the fact that he's either bouncing back and forth between these two modes, or it was like a progression of oh I love you, and then as increasingly he's not getting what he wants, he starts to turn to name calling. Either way, it kind of gives credence to how toxic he is. Maybe we'll just be in this endless cycle of cruelty. That's def what we do now, and she's trying to end that. So even he's acknowledging that there is a cycle of toxicity within the relationship. At least he seems to be acknowledging it a little bit on both sides, although she seems to be saying, no, it's all you. I don't know the intricacies of their relationship. I would say that even in great relationships, there tends to be a little bit on both sides happening, but in general, just from if we're just going based off this conversation, I would say he's far more toxic than she is. He said, honestly, if I didn't give a fuck about you, I would tell you. Do you even know what you really want? You know I care about you. Can't really work on something when you're not actively working on it. Do you really think I don't care about you? I tell so many of my friends about us. They all want us to, I think that's supposed to be to win. I don't know. I just don't get it. We're definitely compatible. How can you say that when you've even talked about this apparent cycle of cruelty? And we def understand each other. Our communication def sucks for sure. I mean, whatever you've been doing hasn't made you happy. And so she's decided to make some change in her life. So I'm never going to see you again. I want to see you again. How would you be miserable? We're so much alike. I'm just not the best at articulating it. I'ma call you, and then it ends there. Definitely, like he had I seen this when it was going, I would definitely be a bit concerned for her. He seems a little unhinged. Like he has, or at the very least, maybe if he's not unhinged now, he has the potential to be unhinged. Glad that she stayed safe, though.
I'm going to tell you why every single time you've dieted, it has failed. This is not shit you're going to hear from your favorite fitness influencers because they want to make their pockets bigger. All types of dieting are restrictive. Restrictive diets are not sustainable. If you have a goal...
Okay, I'm sorry. I definitely, don't get me wrong, had sympathy with her and her ex. This is fucking bullshit. All diets are restrictive. I I mean, one, no, because there are diets that you can do to gain weight. Those that are massively underweight do have diets that are prescribed to them to gain weight. Number one. But two, saying that they're restrictive is misleading because they are at their core, most are at their core restrictive, but they can be restrictive for different purposes. And that's why I don't like that she's painting them as all restrictive, which is like this big, like, fucking, buzzword. It's this fucking big buzzword right now that is like, oh, but it's bad. No, the DASH diet is restrictive of salt, so that in order to help those with heart problems. The glycemic index diet is restrictive in sugar to help diabetics. There's elimination diets to help determine allergies. So yes, they are restrictive, but they aren't inherently toxic. There are plenty of diets out there that people do. There's the fucking diet. I mean, if you want to go into what diets are, those with celiac disease have a gluten-free diet because they need it for medical reasons. Clearly, like I'm so I'm it just makes me so mad. It makes me so mad because it is such the way this is framed has been intentionally misleading. So, and even if we're going to take it out of that, you can diet and be restrictive calorically without being insane about it. Like without, and that actually feels like it's might come across me. I don't mean that you're insane if you take it too far. I'm just my point was is extreme. You don't have to necessarily be extreme about it. I need to watch this again. I need to and the framing that any diet that is promoted to you is so the fitness influencer can line their pockets is just, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fad diets out there that are marketed to you and they are bullshit. I personally, on a personal level, I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum per se. If you like these diets, by all means you do what you want, but sometimes people go a little loco in what they think these diets can do. There's someone that a family member works with that is him and his wife are hugely into the carnivore diet, right? Hugely. To the point where they think that because they eat meat, they don't have to shower anymore. I'm not even fucking kidding. This is a thing that is happening and I don't want to give too many further examples, but I will say that they are nutty. They were already kind of a nutty couple, and this took it to like another degree. And now they're trying to like bribe their kids into being carnivores, um, for the carnivore diet. See, like it just it's a big thing that, especially for me as a teacher, knowing the ages of their children, I'm like I don't have the ability because I don't work in those children's schools, so I can't see more of what's going on. I'm hearing through the grapevine about things which isn't substantial enough for me to do anything about it, but I am praying that someone at these kids' schools is calling CPS with what these parents are doing. It pisses me off. But anyway, that all aside, there are people that take it to like the nth degree, and I think that the carnivore diet personally is stupid. I think you need carbohydrates. I think you need vegetables. At least with keto, at least to my understanding, you still eat low carb veggies, right? Please tell me if you're eating keto, you eat veggies of some sort. Carnivore, though, it's like nothing but meat. Oh my god. But anyway, let's hear more of what she has to say.
I'm going to tell you why every single time you've dieted, it has failed. This is not shit you're going to hear from your favorite fitness influencers because they want to make their pockets bigger. All types of dieting are restrictive. Restrictive diets are not sustainable. If you have a goal for this,
Disagree. It depends on how restrictive you make the diet. But this kind of blanket statement that restrictive diets are not sustainable is just fucking not true. Again, DASH diet and glycemic index diet are diets that people stay on for life that have specific conditions in which those diets help manage those conditions. And if you're eating well and you're eating good food, good whole food, not overly processed shit, generally a slight caloric deficit until you reach an optimal weight and then maintaining that at a certain caloric level through diet is 100% sustainable. It absolutely can be.
New Year's to get a little bit healthier, become a little bit more fit. I want you to set some real fitness goals, like being able to do 10 push-ups or run a mile without walking, things like that.
And you can totally do that. And you know what helps with those somewhat is proper diets that fuel you. Eating nothing but fucking Hostess cupcakes and fast food isn't going to give you the proper fuel. And I'm not saying that's what she does, but she does eat takeout a lot. But having proper fuel, you have more energy when you eat good food. Something that really helped me is I typically only have soda on the weekends now, and it has helped my energy levels overall. Ideally, I should probably give it up entirely, but I do like having it on the weekend. Uh, but it has done a surprising amount on helping my energy levels overall, and I have found after giving up because I drink a lot of diet soda is that the sweetener in diet soda seems to have a even caffeine free soda, anything that's marked as caffeine free, I will still have almost a caffeine like reaction to the artificial sweeteners in those sodas. And I learned this also by at one point I was like chewing through a pack of gum one day. I don't remember why. But then I was like up all night. And then I realized that it was sugar-free gum, and I realized that the artificial sweetener for whatever reason kept me up. By eating better, you fuel your body better to achieve those fitness goals. Overloading on sugar to the point where you crash is not going to give you the fuel and the energy to complete the workout goals that you are trying to set for yourself. So this is another one that slides in. It says diet culture trends I successfully avoided in 2023. And this one says hot take walking is ED behavior. You can sit, it's okay. I'm sorry, but have you had like a serious desk job where you've sat for hours upon hours? I have two family members that have like desk jobs where they sit all the time, and they bought themselves stand-up desks and walking pads because it's hard on the body to sit for hours, hours upon hours upon hours. There were a couple of days there at the beginning of the school year where I was in, it was before kids were coming in, so I did nothing but sit. And my God, my hip flexors were so fucking tight by the end of the day. It's brutal. It's brutal. And then you end up so much more exhausted than when you have a job where you move around more. My job is not nearly as active as it was before, but because I am not a standard classroom teacher, I'm one that goes to other classes to assist students that don't speak English as well, so I get a lot more movement than a lot of the other teachers. And so I have like a nice balance where when I do go and sit at my desk, it doesn't hurt me so much because I know within usually within 30 minutes I'm going to be standing up and walking around again, going up flights of stairs, XYZ. So 100% the walking pad for your desk is not one, it's not ED behavior. It's not inherently ED behavior. There are people that are stuck at their desk all day. I sometimes want some movement. My God. Let's see. This one. Oh, it's Ozempic. How can you claim to care about your health but willingly take a drug not FDA approved for weight loss? The math ain't mathin'. Even tried converting to girl math. Um, I will say that Ozempic seems to have had some negative effects on some people. I had a family member that tried it and uh they didn't have negative effects so much, but they did stop because they realized that the weight would only stay off if they kept taking the drug, and the drug was really fucking expensive because it wasn't covered by health insurance. So they are like, fuck it, I'll do the healthy lifestyle change way. But I definitely not everyone needs Ozempic, and it's not something that I would personally do either. Diets don't work. What do you think happens on day 76 plus? So, oh, this is 75 hard. Isn't that 75? Yeah, that 75 hard is the two 45-minute workouts and one has to be outside. 75 hard is more of a we covered this before on the Unsolicited podcast. 75 hard is meant to be a mental toughness challenge as well as like a physical toughness challenge. I think it's extreme. I don't think it's helpful, and I don't think someone should follow it for lifestyle purposes. Um, because I just don't think that it is, well, one, it's meant to be a challenge, so you only do it for 75 days, but it's still kind of an extreme challenge in my opinion, and it's not something that I would recommend. 75 hard though is much more than just a diet. It's its own weird philosophy thing, not for me. Personally, not for me. Um, but there's definitely diets that are not extreme and don't require you to do all of this other shit that can still be very helpful to your life.
I have very severe lash dysmorphia because I'm just looking at myself in the mirror thinking, my lashes are so short. Girl, you have on 17 millimeters of lashes. It's just because I'm used to 19, so I have very severe.
See, this is the thing though, and I feel like this is her bigger issue. I don't think that she may say, oh, I'm anti diet culture and XYZ. You're still very much at the forefront of beauty culture though. The fact that you wear and I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong if you choose to wear fake eyelashes. That you do you. That's not the issue. The issue is that she's like it's too short when she's wearing 17 millimeter lashes. We will see something about her going in for Botox and just like the general other things that she does for like beauty maintenance and beauty upkeep sort of things that I'm like the calls coming from inside the house. This was never a diet culture issue. I mean, maybe a little bit, but in general, not terribly a diet culture issue. This is an unfortunate thing where you are very wrapped up in the beauty market and the perception of beauty. Um, And don't get me wrong, you can 100% be into beauty without being obsessive over it. I don't feel like that's AntiDietPilot. I feel like it's burrowed its way into her brain, and so she's villainized intentional weight loss because she had a medical issue related to severe restriction and everything. I think I don't know the full details, but that would be my general idea given what we've seen from her before. Um, but that was just, it was almost like a symptom of a bigger issue, you know?
I also saved an extra $13,000 this year, which I think is absolutely insane. And all I did was make some tiny changes, but oh my God, did they make a difference. So the first thing I did was I stopped getting my nails done at a salon. I just figured out how to do them myself. I do my own Gel X nails. I used to spend $100 every 2 weeks, $2,400 a year. I spent $200 total for the year in supplies on Amazon. It was a total savings of $2,200. And then we have grooming my dog at home. I don't know if I'm going to continue this one in 2024. I'm definitely going to wait for the dog virus to be over with, but I really only saved $825. And the willpower that it takes to groom a long-haired dog at home by yourself is insane. So I don't know if
So I will say, as someone who has had both long hair and short hair dogs, grooming a long hair dog is insane. They're uncooperative and you don't know what you're doing, and you may very well end up really hurting them um, because you don't know what you're doing. I personally rectified this by getting a short hair dog after my long hair dog died. I honestly, I like not having to, like, I can bathe my dog. That's not an issue. I can easily bathe my dog, but it's nice to not have to worry about otherwise grooming other than the occasional nails, but we figured out something for her. So the nails are good. She's bathed regularly and I don't have to cut her hair. So I will give her that. If you have a long hair animal, having the money for professional grooming or a lot of patience and the willingness to invest in some decent tools is a must.
I'm going to continue that. But the biggest impact to my income was not owning a car. I used to spend $12,000 a year owning a car. In the entire year of 2023, I spent $1,350, total savings of $10,650, grand total for the year $13,675. So when people ask me, like, how can you spend that much money on rent? Like, how can you spend all that money on food and groceries? Because I don't have these expenses. I cut out the things that don't matter to me or don't make a big impact in my life, invested in the things that do matter to me. So
I still am like, how much money do you make? Because this still seems like an exceptional amount that you were spending before, even on the other things.
we're shopping for a 16-year-old girl. The first thing on her list is that she wants Torrid gift card. Can I please get a gift card? Yeah. How much does it cost to have like an outfit? So let's do like 100. Okay. Yeah. We got the gift card and she gets a little coupon for $15 off her next purchase. I'm gonna walk to Walmart because she also wants music bands. I don't know what those are, but I'm gonna get her it. Go first. You know what time it is. At Walmart, and she wants these like sound moves bands, but they don't have them here. For now, we're gonna move on to the 6-year-old girl. She wants a black ballerina and a Leapfrog My Learn pad. Let's go find it. Look at that. Bam, right there. She also wants clothing. The fact that she wanted a ballerina tells me that she's probably girly. I'm gonna get this cute like little turtleneck and the jeans. What about something like this? Deciding between this one and this one. I have to find the shoes. Look at all these cute shoes. What if our shoes were this cheap? Definitely getting these. I feel like they go perfectly with her little outfits. Got these ones too. Back to the 16-year-old. She wants a jewelry box. Got the last neutral one. I feel like this is perfect. I really did not think this through. I have to carry it all the way back to the city. And it's going to take me an hour to get home, and I have to do a transfer.
All right. I will say that I gotta give her credit here. So when I cover people, yes, I do show them at their worst, but I do feel like it's worth highlighting when they are decent. And this was really decent to go, and I mean, she clearly thought about what she was getting for the kid. She wasn't just buying random shit. It seemed like she was really putting thought and effort into the gifts that she got these kids, and I hope those kids had a Merry Christmas. So that was actually really sweet and wholesome.
When Brief from Selling Sunset said, get some lash extensions, you basic ass bitch, she was talking to all of these irrelevant women on TikTok who apparently have so many opinions about the beauty services that women get. And it's so funny because when I see a girl saying, you guys need to stop getting almond nails, Squoval is the new thing, or lash extensions are the new 2016 block brows, I look at them a little close up, tilt my head, go to their profile, scroll a little bit, and I ask myself, who in their right mind would take fashion or beauty advice from you? Why do I care what you think? When Brief from Selling Sunset said, get some lash extensions,
So here's the thing. I actually completely agree with not putting down how other women style themselves. I completely agree with that. Like, it's one of the things where it's like, you do you. In general, I've been very much the type of live and let live. As long as you are not affecting someone else, you do what you want. But what's interesting is that for AntiDietPilot, this thought does not carry over into people that choose to intentionally lose weight or get snatched or try to, I don't know, be thinner in general. How about how about no, I agree no one should tell you how to do your thing or put down how you choose to style yourself, and you should not make comments on other people's lifestyle choices. But that's me. All right, we're gonna do. I don't have any recommendations this week, so because it's been like survival mode, and it's gonna be survival mode for the next 2 weeks for me. Because we're in that awful point of year between Thanksgiving break and winter break, and the kids are unmotivated at best, feral at worst, and trying. No one wants to do anything. Teachers don't even want to do anything. Everyone is just trying to get to winter break. I haven't had much of a chance to read anything this week, so we're just gonna cover one or two more TikToks and then call it a video.
all of these irrelevant women on TikTok who apparently have so many opinions about the beauty services that women get. You thought I was dumb, but I'm not. I also saw this girl make like a 2-minute video ranting about how women go in for regular beauty maintenance and who do they think they are? They're not celebrities. First of all, beauty maintenance is expensive, but it's not that expensive. You don't need to be a celebrity to afford regular beauty maintenance. Also, number two, do I owe you money? Like, why are you so pressed what women are spending their money on? And number three, just because you can't afford it doesn't mean other women can't. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to go get regular beauty maintenance, that's fine. What's wrong with women who want to? Because you personally think it's a waste of money? Please. All of
Again, I actually agree with her here, and I would extend that to women that are trying to intentionally lose weight in a healthy way. Not everything boils down to ED behavior. There are healthy ways to lose weight, and some people choose to do that. No one owes you behaving in ways that you deem appropriate, and they can do what they want with their own body, just as you can. Just as you can.
Girls actually don't care about money. They just have to know that you're competent enough to make money.
this is some of the finest form of gaslighting I have seen in a hot minute, and too many of you bitches fell for it. This man literally described investing in a man. Like, oh, he's so smart, confident, competent. One day, not today, for reasons that we won't talk about, but like one day, he's gonna have money. He's gonna take care of you. You just have to trust him. When has it ever been a good idea in the history of mankind to trust a man? Don't fall for it.
Girls actually don't.
I don't know how I feel about this one because it touches at a core concept that I kind of agree with in that don't invest in a person per se. Like I have thoughts on this. It kind of goes back to accept for the person as they are because they may never change. So if you see, and here's the thing, just because a man or anybody, it doesn't have to be a man, it can be any person, has the potential to be great, doesn't mean that the motivation to be great is there. So this is kind of one of those things again where it's like, whether it's about making money or whether it's about being emotionally available or whatever it is, it does not matter what it is. don't assume it's gonna come around. Don't you either accept the person as they are, and again, if they become better and I don't know, their ability to make more money increases, great. But don't bank on that. Don't assume that things are going to carry on your what you perceive. I don't know why I think someone just bumped the internet thing. But that's okay, we were done anyway. Uh but just because someone has the potential to be anything doesn't mean that you should uh assume that they will be that thing. And my internet's not coming. I think she accidentally. If you can hear the food processor that's going, I think my mom unplugged the internet. Okay, so anyway, I've already kind of told you what my school year is looking like right now. This point in the school year always fucking sucks, and I have nothing to recommend you right now anyway. So I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. My internet's gotta go check this out. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.